All right. I always have to do this. I look at this red box. I consult my host manual inside. It says live. That officially means we are live. Thank you so much for being here this evening. It's always a great night when our special guest makes an appearance on the Rock and Roll channel on Talk Shop Live, especially this time of year. He needs no introduction, but I'm going to allow him just to say hello and introduce himself nonetheless. Don, if you would.
Sure. Hey, Steve. Don
Hey.
Barnes, 38 Special, singer, guitarist, and overall founder. It's my fault, I guess you could say.
No, we appreciate that. And kudos for you for not giving out your home address or social security number. Boy,
Right.
did not work out well with the last guest for sure.
Right.
And I just want to say again, it's pretty amazing to consider some simple facts, but man, they've just hit an absolute banner milestone, no pun intended, 50 years together, an astounding 20 million records sold, guitar-driven Southern rock, but you know that, timeless hooks, so many great classics from Hold On Loosely to Caught Up in You, If I'd Been the One, Back Where You Belong, A Second Chance, and we're here tonight to celebrate the glorious 50 years in Don and 38 Special's latest album, Milestone. Again, hard to believe it was their first album in over 20 years, but he and the band truly delivered. So, folks, buckle up. Let's kick this show off. And Brendan, if you would, roll the video for us.
Thank you, Steve. You made it very easy for me.
Man, that always gets my adrenaline going. But man, it was up to 12 already. Why 12? Because it's one more than Spinal Tap's 11. But man, just having this guest on this evening, I'm absolutely thrilled and been looking forward to this evening. I'm Steve Harkins, your host for the Rock and Roll channel on Talk Shop Live. And ladies and gentlemen, they broke the mold with this guy, an American treasure, and so grateful, as I said, to have him back here once again on the Rock and Roll channel, Talk Shop Live. Don Barnes, thank you so much for being here this evening.
Steve, always a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks for having me back twice in 2 months now, right?
I'll tell you what, man, well, you thought you were done with me. Thanks for lifting the cease and desist. I appreciate that.
Right.
I'll tell you what, we unearthed a few more copies of signed music, this brilliant album, and fans, we asked Don if he would come on to talk about it once more. I could tell you that there's very few copies signed that are left. They will be gone this evening. So if you're thinking twice about it, don't pull the trigger right now. And fans, if you'd like to ask Don a question or you have a comment, just hit the chat function. We'll get to as many as possible. I said this last time, Don, but again, man, it's a banner year. What you do is extraordinarily important. And especially these days, music is our common thread. And man, we need you and 38 Special more than ever. So let me just say once again, man, thank you for all you do. It's musical medicine.
Thank you. It's a great job to bring that kind of joy to people. I appreciate it, Steve. It's been 50 years, 5 decades. It's amazing that, I remember when we first did our first album shoot, the first album photo shoot. And, they put, it was in New York, had stylists up there. We were just, green and coming from Jacksonville, Florida. And they had bought clothes and they spray painted these coats and everything to make them look old. And and I remember looking at that photo. I thought, wow, that's going to be weird if I see this so many decades from 50 years. And here I am. So
go figure, man. You were a visionary.
Yeah. I never kept the coat with the spray paint on it, but
Oh, that's too bad. But we have the photo as a memory.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you what, this time of year, man, there's so much to be thankful for and cause for celebration. We just celebrated Thanksgiving, you got Christmas coming up, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. I'm sure I'm missing some holidays in there. And tomorrow is quite an event when the world embraced the unveiling of Sony's PlayStation in 1994. But all that pales in comparison to the anniversary of the birth of one Don Barnes, without whom there would be no
What?
38 special
You weren't
as we
supposed to
know
know.
it, and a
How did
whole
you know
lot
that,
less.
Steve?
What's that?
How did you know that?
Well, you know what? I know people, and I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, man. We would not have 38 special without you in this world. A whole lot less joy as well. So let me be one of the first to say happy birthday, man, and thanks for
Thanks.
being
So,
here on this planet.
yeah, we got big birthday sale of the Milestone album tonight, so that's great. But yeah,
Absolutely.
it's it's been a long journey. It's been a tough thing. I was married very young, had a young son, and went through all the day jobs and paid the dues, buddy. I mean, I drove trucks, construction, writing songs in the cab of a truck, trying to rehearse at night, and
Yeah.
so it wasn't an easy road. It's not something I recommend somebody try to do, but I was too stubborn to quit, I guess.
Well, it was in your DNA, right? But I mean, it's probably one of the most natural lifestyles and careers one could sign up for.
Well, there's a lot of people have talent out there, but I've told them you got to have first of all, the wherewithal and the fortitude to stick it out, because it's all failure. Nobody believes in you, so you have to believe and have your own confidence. Sometimes that's tough to do, but it's one of those things where if you want it that bad, so how bad do you want it? Like Don Henley said, how
That's
bad
right.
do you want it? So it's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of failure at first. I tell these young guys, be ready to accept a lot of disappointment and failure, because it's a pretty crowded field out there, highly
That's exactly
competitive.
right.
It's a highly competitive business. And you might get lucky with one song and think, well, that's going to carry me my whole life, but that doesn't happen like that. A lot of these guys are back to installing cable TV, after.
Exactly.
And I certainly didn't want to go back to that. So I kept trying to learn as I went. That was one thing, we started out very green, but you write 500 songs and you might publish 50 of them. So, it was, it's a learning process. You get better as you go. And, I believe you talked to Jim Peterik recently. I was telling him we had a great time in the studio doing the Milestone album.
Absolutely.
But I learned a lot from being with a professional. He had a #1 hit song and 17 years old, and so I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to go to school on this guy. So this is how he does it. So
Well, kudos.
yeah,
I mean, he thinks so highly of you as
he's
well, and he's
no
so proud of the work you guys have done historically. But he's especially proud of this album.
Yeah, we had a great time. I was leaving that day. It got to the point where we were under the gun. I was scheduling wise. I had the car out in the driveway, the driver waiting for me, and I'm
Yeah.
putting the last harmony touches on the album on some songs, and grab my bag and get to the airport there in Chicago with the weather the way it was. But yeah, we had a lot of laughs. I told these guys I'm going to miss them. Larry Millis
Yeah.
was the other executive producer.
Talented guy.
Yeah, and so I said I'm going to miss you guys. We do that. That's what it should be. It should be it shouldn't be drudgery. You should have a good time and a lot of laughs and a lot of history together. So we have mutual respect there. Yeah.
Absolutely. We're talking about, raising the bar high before the show. And, I think it's reciprocal. I mean, the material you guys came up with, I mean, it's just absolutely, some of the best stuff in years. And I don't know what you did, Don, but all I know is when this record was done, Jim didn't have purple hair anymore. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
But
I transformed him.
you transformed them. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, we go all the way back to the late 70s. 79 was when we
Right.
were writing. Hold On Lucid was released in 1980, I believe. But yeah, it started out in his humble little house he had, and he's since moved. We joke around and call his house the mall because it's got hallways all the way around it. You can see the Gap or something up there.
You're right. I've been there many times, man. I think
Have
they
you?
had a search party for me a few times.
Yeah, have you seen all the guitar collection? Obviously, right?
It's jaw dropping.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a manic. He's manic about the collecting guitars. I have about 15 of them. They're pretty. Some of them are pretty expensive. Collector's items. But overall, I mean, Jim kind of ribs me about it because I still play that Les Paul Jr. on stage. It's all beat up. It looks like it's been drugged behind a truck or something. But it was everything. I think of him as just a tool.
Yeah.
he put some like furniture and keeps them polished and all that, but I just use them, and they take a lot of abuse, but so.
Absolutely. And it sounds great. Why mess with what works? And I'll
That's
tell you
right.
what,
Yeah.
I think I saw Jim talking to some of those guitars. He's just not right.
He's got the one hallway, and he calls them the blondes. He's got all the blonde finished Gibson 335s, and probably 20 of them lined up. It's just amazing. That one hallway is probably $1 million worth of guitars.
You're right.
Yeah.
I keep telling him they should charge admission to let us in, but one day he's going to actually listen to me.
I told him, I said, this one's got a little nick on it. It's, you don't really want to. Give me that one. I'll take it.
Take it off your hands.
Right.
Well, man, Milestone's been out for a bit, and you've had the opportunity now to live with it, and also to get feedback from fans, and it's got to be
absolutely
really rewarding, man. Knowing you made the right decision to.
Yeah, we have the luxury of having after the launch. It was a very successful launch. We had, of course, several million streams now of All I Haven't Said and several of the other singles. Physical copies, big sellouts everywhere. So it's got a good launch. I'm still trying to learn the streaming process. I'm old school, so
me too.
Yeah. They say it says streaming has a long tail, as Fred Crochelle says.
Yes, he does, and you have to listen to Fred, man.
Yeah, I was reading something recently about. They said that this song became a big hit, and it was an artist that was unknown, and it's been out for a year. It took a year for the song to become a hit. Back in the old days, you'd know if you had a hit within 3 or 4 weeks. So.
Yeah, if the record company wasn't feeling it, they were moving on.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, did you have any trepidation? I mean, when you're contemplating putting the record together, I mean, it'd been 20 years, you're wondering, wow, do I want to go through this process again, coming up with the material? Does the world need a new 38 special album? The answer is yes, by the way. And, so was there kind of back and forth before?
Yeah, a little bit. It's a lot of work. It's definitely a huge effort, because you have to see it through. You have to get to the finish line. And so, there were times where the tracks were there, but they weren't finished. And it's like, it's not going to get finished unless you get on a plane and get to Chicago to the studios and keep doing your overdubs, make your list of things and need to finish them out. But that's the kind of thing that it is a labor of love. After a while, you start the quality of the songs is like, wow. The one thing I regret is the momentum. You have momentum through the 80s and the MTV and all that. So we had to come up with some special material to cover for that momentum and make wake people up, make the fan base recognize that it's good, just as good quality as the other ones, just as relevant today.
Absolutely right. Yeah, no question about that. And it was the right decision. And let's hear the opening track. There's some people out there still that haven't heard it, man. We were spreading the gospel. Yeah. This is again from Milestone, brilliant latest album from 38 Special. And Don, here's So Much So Right. Brendan, if you would please roll the digital.
Ever slow down? This love is running hot. Like when you're making that sound, you give it all you got. Yeah, it's just my obsession, baby, 'cause loving you's a wonderland. Oh, you make so much feel so right. So right. One kiss, one touch makes it so tight. To the core, kisses under the sheet, make you beg for more. Yeah, don't like to see you go, baby, but I love to watch you walk away.
Yeah, Don, I think I said this before. This is the part where the fans get pissed at me for cutting off a great
Yeah,
track, but they know how it works, man. You got to buy the
yeah,
album to hear the rest of it. I mean,
yeah.
trust me, the
That was
latter half is just as good.
That was Jerry Riggs' guitar solo there. He was blistering through it. I'm first of all, Steve, I'm surrounded with legends and kings. All these guys, we just went in there with the bottom line. Let's just have a good time doing it.
Yeah.
Evolve your parts like you want. I have all total respect for every one of them, and they stepped up and met the moment. That was blew me away. I still listen to it. Even hearing 1,000 times from recording. I
No
still
doubt.
enjoy it. Bass lines, killer stuff.
You're exactly right, man. It's a great opener. And, again, it showcases after 50 years, man, that this latest incarnation, man, it still has power, the spirit, the energy, and the magic. And you guys delivered. And a lot of people who don't have experience recording in the studio, sometimes it's not an easy feat to capture the energy. You kind of want that
Mhm.
kind of live vibe. And man, everybody just absolutely gelled, and
Yeah.
the energy level is just through the roof.
Yeah, as the years go on, first of all, you start off working the studio, you get that red light fever. As soon as that light goes on, your shoulders come up around your ears, and you
Yeah.
have to tell yourself, just relax. It's just a light coming on. You're just playing just like you. But it's just good natural nervousness. But all that went away after so many years. I found that working in a studio was just really natural for me. It's fun. It's a fun tool. Basically, a studio is just a tool to get your material together and get it out there. So
Exactly right.
Yeah, right.
Exactly right. Hey, I just want to thank all the fans that are here. Colin, thanks for purchasing Milestone. You will not regret it. You're going to love this record. Same with Gordon. Also, Christopher and Shelly and Brian, David, Darren, Holly. Look at that. The list keeps growing. We got Pete and Richard. Thanks for being here and purchasing Milestone as well. Crystal Lee is here and saying, my whole family absolutely loves you, and thanking you, Don, for boxing out some time tonight to spend it with the fans.
That's so nice to see that from fans. I mean, we do all this. You see the instant reaction from people, and you just don't really realize how much that it means to them. It's not to. I've always been, my dad taught me humility is a virtue. You just put your stuff out there. Hopefully, people like it. But it's
right.
really nice to see city to city. We go out, sell out everywhere we go. People come out and the smiles on their faces. They're singing along. My sound man, John Lavati, he tells me, he said, I have to turn you up louder because the crowd is singing louder than you are. So,
I love that. I love that. You can't, that's a natural response. I mean, again, it's a testament to not only the performance, but again, the strength of the material and that it's timeless too.
My son, Jason, he's almost as old as I am now. He was the baby born when I was 20,
Yeah.
He sees the old videos where I was absolutely just dead dogging into it, and he's like, damn, Dad, I was like, that's what you got to have, that fire, son. You got to take life by the horns and get what you want out of it. And it's an old saying about, if you don't get what you deserve, if you don't get what you want, then you get what you deserve. So
That's
you
right.
go after it 110%,
Man, you're the poster child for that, for sure, man. You're living proof, man, that but you know what? I mean, there's some things that are inherent that you can't teach people, certain certain elements of this magic that comes with the package too, that makes a difference. And you, sir, have that. Richard Carr Sr. Is also saying thanks so much for being here, and really happy that we're doing this. Sue Grossclose Combs, I think I got that right, is just flat out saying we love you, Don. And
she's a real trooper for the band. She takes care of a couple of websites and keeps people in line.
We love that. I will not be messing with her, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. Mark Southern says, I've been a fan since the 80s. We talked about this last time, and that's another thing that's just mind-blowing, is that you set foot on stage, man, you scan the audience, and it's not, you'll see original fans, and you'll see fans over the course of time, new generations of fans as well.
Yeah, they grew up in a household, the parents played our music, and
yeah,
it is amazing. I mean, we see the like I said, you see a group of young boys, they've got a little neighborhood band, and man, that Hold On Loosely comes on, you know, they're like high-fiving each other. It's like, dude, you weren't even born when that song came out.
Exactly.
So there's a long history, 50 years, you know.
Right.
So,
I
yeah.
love that. Yeah, it's a testament for sure. Victor Wilkie saying saw them in a Detroit rock club, Port Chester, New York in the 80s as well. So, also Tom Gillette, uh, I'm not even going to respond to what he said other than he's saying he affectionately appreciates you. I'm just going to leave it at that. Might have gotten a little too graphic, but appreciate you being here, Tom. And Kimberly Sills, too, is saying, awesome. And I'll tell you what's awesome. You know, what this man and his band have delivered. We're celebrating a few important milestones. You heard is 50 years of incredible music service from the one and only Don Barnes and 38 Special, and their first new album of studio material in over 20 years. Of course, it's entitled Milestone, 9 incredible tracks in all. And I still stand behind it, man. I think it may be their best album to date, and that's saying a lot. The Rock and Roll Channel fans at Talk Shop Live can order their copies right here, right now. And as their way of thanking you fans, Don and 38 Special personally autographed copies purchased here on Talk Shop Live, signed by the entire band. Just hit the shop button on Talk Shop Live. And if you're on socials, Facebook or Instagram, just comment shop. We'll DM you a link. And there's no greater way to show how much you appreciate the legendary Don Barnes and 38 Special than by purchasing and most importantly, owning a copy of their latest musical body of work. Done in addition to Jim Peterik, there's songs co-written by some pretty amazing musicians, Randy Bachman being one of them.
Yeah, it was a great time with him. I found myself in Nashville one day, and the publisher said Randy Bachman was in town. Would you like to write with him? And I had so much history playing his songs back in high school dances and teen dances and all.
Yeah.
You know, it was a thrill for me. I was honored. And of course, he's a motor mouth. He's got all these stories. He will sit there for hours before we even started writing songs. He's telling me stories. But and then Burton Cummings, we played a show up in Canada, and he's a god up there. I mean, Canada.
Gosh.
I mean, he said, "Here, quick, take a picture of me, and there'll be 2 million hits on Instagram by midnight." Sure,
amazing.
So all these green tinted postings that come by, those are all sales there because it's blowing up. Everybody needs to get on the holiday train here, man. Get these things. They're going to run out.
Don, you know what? I'm not going to quit my day job, man. You take over from here. You're doing a better job than I am. You're exactly right, man. We're blowing it up here.
Yeah, man. I like to see it.
Yeah, me too. You know, I call it the tote board. Now, Lois Leah, thanks so much for being here, saying Don's such a great guy. Second that emotion. What you see is what you get. Through and throughout for sure. And Craig Campbell flat out is just saying this is a great record. Can't really build on that. You're right. Jones,
Still, Steve, that you talked about the live shows, the people wonder, from the other side of the view lens there. I played in bands from 13, 14 years old, and I always had that same feeling. And I go out, they think repetitive shows and all the 100 cities a year. Man, the first few notes there, I'm still that 15-year-old kid with a guitar and an amp, and it's
no doubt.
It speaks for me, I was actually kind of an introvert. I was pretty shy growing up, but
is that right?
Yeah. I had to learn to, progress and, project myself, but those first big fat chords and rocking to the night, we come out and it's like, it gets me. And I'm that kid again, really.
Exactly.
I live it every night. People wonder, how's that feel? It feels just, turn a guitar up to 10 and you can be, 19 years old again. So.
It's really hard to explain unless somebody like you is in that position. But man, I can't think of something that it's hard to even call it an occupation because it's personal, it's passion, and their skills and complete dedication, as you said earlier. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's like as close to an elixir of the fountain of youth as you can get.
It is. It's all consuming. We have in-ear monitors, so everything, the blast of the crowd and the amps and everything, and it's all consuming. I'm still, like I said, we played you and I talked about the last session we had. We talked about playing the sailors clubs when we were young. And Jacksonville was a Navy town.
That's
a
right.
lot of naval, 5 naval bases there, and so we all cut our teeth on cover songs in sailors clubs, enlisted men's clubs. So it was kind of like the Liverpool situation in Jacksonville, where we could go out and as young kids, put a little band together and practice in the garage, and then go get a gig for $100 a week at a sailors club. And so we learned all those cover songs of the day, and you get the early training, you get the foundation, the fundamentals of songwriting. You start seeing how it's done. You start to see the payoff and all that. But that feeling, I've told my wife recently, I said, I still feel like that guy playing up on a stage in Mayport Naval Station up there, it feels like that. It was most natural for me. It's the most natural thing. So I felt like if it's that natural, I got to be able to do something with this. So I kept at it. Yeah.
I might have asked you this, Don. I apologize if it's redundant, but what would one have heard when you were a teenager playing some of those original places? What kind of material?
We were doing all the Young Rascals. There were the Who, the Woodstock had come out. So we were doing Joe Cocker. I was, imitating, what would you do? Joe Cocker.
Oh, I'd pay good money to hear a recording of that.
Oh, I wish I had some of those old tapes.
The
drummer's sister is still alive, and she had mentioned to me she had some 8-track. They had an 8-track recorder. Wow. And his dad was the manager. We had our little band truck. We were pretty popular around the South, playing all the, like I said, the enlistments club and everything. Let's see, we played Three Dog Night, a lot of Three Dog Night, Santana, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. And then, all the evolution of music. You had Hendrix come out with Purple Haze. We had to learn that too. And then Mountain with Mississippi Queen. And we started getting more rock in there, So So the influences really are kind of run the gamut of pop rock songs, Love and Spoonful, Summer in the City, those kind of songs. Just these great songs that would just fall out of the sky to me. It felt like, just one day the radio came on. It's like, where did that come from? So I wanted to learn to do that, So anyway, so all those early ones, even the song All I Haven't Said is a kind of a throwback to all the kind of jangle guitar, the Searchers, Beatles songs, Beatles styles, and I loved all that stuff. Again, you got the hard side of the Leslie West and Mountain and Hendrix and Clapton, and of course I always wanted to be Clapton. I was
of course.
Back then, Steve, it was the old days. You had to slow the LP down to 16 2/3 and try to learn the guitar licks. And put the needle back and learn the guitar licks. But
some of us were thinking, if we could only slow it down to 8, if that was possible.
Yeah. Well, now YouTube has all those instructional videos. I'm still learning. I just got 3 books about alternative tunings and things. I always was interested in that kind of thing, So
that's great. You're still pushing the envelope, man.
It's always good to learn some new things. I never played slide guitar, and the guy told me, get a little pinky slide. That's a lot easier to see the frets when you're coming up the neck,
Yeah.
A lot of people put it on the ring finger, and that, to me, that was always like I got lost. It was out of pitch and flat and thing, but the pinky slide's working pretty good.
That's great. Maybe the next album we'll hear. You unveil it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll tell you what, Joan Van Duysen's here, and again, giving you a virtual standing ovation for being here. You can't see it, but trust me. Amy Nance, I love this one. Said, love this band since I was a teen. And again, this really speaks volumes about how what you do is important. It's not just entertainment. She says, helped me through many hard times. And I know she's not the only one.
Man, I got to tell you, Steve, I have read comments on YouTube that would just bring tears to my eyes because of some certain song. And we had a woman brought her, I think she was about 8 or 9 year old. She brought her daughter to there, and she said, my daughter she loves all kind of music. And she said, tell him what you said. She said, I like all kind of music, but 38 Special goes right to your heart. From a little kid, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right to your heart. Yeah.
If that doesn't underscore why what you're doing is important to continue it, I don't know what would be.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of stories that people turned around, sad, tragic stories, teenage suicide, woman.
Yeah.
There was a Christmas song we did called It's Christmas and I Miss You. And it's really just pulls the nostalgic strings, talks about people who aren't here at Christmas. And she got in touch with me, and I told her, you come at our show anytime, come be my guest.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, there's nothing, I think that's probably more difficult than losing a child, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I was shocked. I thought maybe he was sick or something. She finally disclosed to me that he'd been bullied, and all the things that happen in society today.
Yeah.
And it just broke my heart. And I said, anytime, bring your family, bring everybody. I don't care how many people, bring them all.
There we go. Testament to the man you are. But again, how you touch so many people. In 2025, man, it's been an incredible year for you and 38 Special. We said the 50th anniversary of this great new album, the first in 20 years. By the way, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, man, it was a top 10 rock album, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Your first album in 20 years, a band that's had a history of 50 years, and it was top 25 album overall. And man, you're up against all these young bucks and vixens, if you will, man, putting out music. I mean, it's in the entire mix. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it was number 5 rock album in the country and number 23 overall album when it debuted, when it was launched there. So I was like, wow, really? After all this time? That's, but it's the quality of the songs. I kept at it. I just attacked it with that. I wanted to keep the quality there and show people that, hey, we don't slack up. We stack up after all these years,
Absolutely. And you talked about the touring, but man, banner touring this year as well, including I think it was a really cool mix, which was you and Kansas touring together.
Yeah. Had a great time with those guys. They're just all funny, and Ronnie Platt, a great singer.
Yeah.
All those guys are just excellent. And night full of hits. I mean, they just start out with all their hits, and we lined ours up, and we had 32 cities we did. And I think all of them were sellouts. So, we plan on doing it again in 26.
Oh, that's great news.
Yeah. It's such a great package. We're trying, Lover Boys are good friends of ours.
Yep.
They go out there and kill too. They're kings.
They do.
I told them, you guys are kings out there. Randy, of course, BTO. And, we played a show with them years ago. I said, man, they were a support act with us. And I said, man, you guys killed out there. And he goes, yep, now it's just your turn to take them to heaven.
I love
I
that.
always remember that.
That's a classic line.
Yeah.
So great. Prolific artists such as you've done, I mean, generally don't dwell on the past, but usually look forward, and just curious, with 50 years behind you and this first album in 20 years, I mean, are there other goals or milestones? Sorry, had to throw that in there, but that you feel the need to achieve? I mean, what's the driving force? You're obviously playing in front of people matters a lot to you.
That was our forte, live shows. We will continue doing that. I mean, recording the album was a lot of fun. And like I said, these guys they make me look good and sound good. And and the respect I have for them is unmatched. I'm telling you, I try to showcase them every time. The original band, of course, all those guys were legends and kings to us. We're all still friends, stay in touch. But people move on after 50 years. Donnie Van Zandt had some inner ear nerve damage, and he had to get off the road and not be around loud noises.
Right.
And so several, one of the wildest guy was Jack Ronnin. He was the wildest guy in the band, and he was always kind of in search of something. But he ended up being an evangelist minister, traveling the world.
Wow. Talk about a 180.
Yeah, he gives his testimony about being a rock star, and he just finished building an orphanage in the Philippines for orphan boys. And
Good for him.
I said, buddy, you're doing a lot pretty work than we're doing. So every now and then he'll come around and say, you want to sit in? He goes, man, I haven't played drums in so long. But he was a powerhouse, Jack was.
Yeah.
Steve Brookins, we had 2 drummers back then.
That's right.
We wouldn't have had it any other way. Those guys we had a lot of fun traveling.
That'd be great up there, man. Just feeling that power behind you.
Yeah, they all played in simultaneous. There's in sync, like mirror image. Yeah, and it was big power coming from behind you, the rhythm section. But Steve Brookins got into the transportation end of the industry, buses and trucks, leasing, and that kind of thing. So that what happens after 50 years. And just people kind of move on. But the guys like a Jerry Riggs, I didn't play any solos in this album because he's such a master at it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to showcase him. I played enough solos. I've been enough through 15 albums.
He delivered. It was a good call.
Oh, every song, it was like, even some of the basic tracks that were just, people don't understand that when you do a basic track for a song, you're just laying a bed for the overdubs later. So you're putting bass and drums in one guitar, or maybe two guitars and maybe a keyboard. But Jerry was playing solos. I was kind of saying, Jerry, we'll do that later. We'll overdub that. He on let's see what song. Oh, it was Slightly Controversial.
Yeah.
He played the solo. And we're like, well, that'll do just fine. So we saved that solo, and it was just one pass at it. And I said, you think you could ever do that again? Jerry, he never plays the same thing twice. But, it's unbelievable.
It's a good thing you were recording. And man, it's like we rehearsed this, Don. Let's hear a little bit of Slightly Controversial from Milestone. Brendan, if you would once again, please roll the digital for us.
Hide her story, and her face never gives it away. Her life is what she needs it to be, to keep on guessing on every other day. It's a permanent arrangement, and the mystery remains, and nobody will ever change. That's the way she wants to live her life. Slightly controversial. She's a modern girl, compromise. Her world is always changing. There's too much noise running every day. She likes to claim that her spirit is free, but if she falls in love, she takes it all away. So don't take her so lightly. So many pages turn while lovers live in vain. Slightly controversial. That's the way she wants to live her life. Yeah. Slightly controversial. Yeah, she's a modern girl, no compromise. No one can know her mind. Strong will and love combine. When the darkness starts to fall, she's a challenge for us all. When her back's against the wall.
That's a great example. Some great guitar work. Of course, I cut it off right when he was starting to fire up on all cylinders. So once again, I'm just glad people don't know where I live. They slash my tires probably.
Well, I also failed to mention that was a duet with Pat Monahan from Train. He and Joe Bonamassa had done a version of Hold On Loosely for YouTube. They just released it. YouTube had like 1 million hits on it.
Yeah.
I was in the middle of recording the album. I thought, I'm going to reach out to this guy's manager, see if he'd like to come sing a duet with me or something. Manager got back, said he was a big fan. He would absolutely love to do it. And so he crushed it, man. We made a new friend, and I told him, between the two of us, we could probably scare up a pretty good song. We want to do some writing. So we intend on doing some of that in the future. Yeah.
That's great news. I'll tell you what, he's a force of nature as well.
He is. He's a big talent. Great soulful voice. Good writer, and all. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's hear from some of the fans as well. Well, first of all, JD Dotson saying, first saw 38 Special 1981 open for Molly Hatchet in Nashville. Look at that. That's pretty amazing. James ordered a copy of this. Also, Steve, Brian, Patty, you're going to love this record. Gary, Wendy, Mark Southern saying, love the two drummers. Not many bands had that at the time. So you guys were kind of cutting edge.
Yeah, at the time, Allman Brothers had 2 drummers, and actually
That's right.
Skinner for a little bit had 2 drummers, but it was Grateful Dead, 2 drummers. The
Maybe
thing
the
was,
Doobies
yeah,
maybe.
Doobie Brothers, yeah, and
Yeah.
but
Not many.
people say, why do you need 2? Well, you could have gotten rid of 1, but we couldn't do that because they were both so good and they were such great guys.
Yeah.
And comedy relief, all of that. We wouldn't have done it. We wouldn't have done it any other way.
Yeah, for sure. Good call, man. What would you do? Like a lottery system? How would you make that decision?
In the studio, Steve was more of a funk drummer. He had more of a backbeat. Jack was more the rock drummer, straight ahead. So the rock songs that were leaning into it, Jack did those. And some of these, Donnie had some funky songs, and we'd have Steve play them. Even to
Makes
this day,
sense.
I'll text Steve and say, "Man, that performance on that song, it was one of let's see." The name escapes me now, but anyway, he did a great job on all that stuff. All of them are they're still out there, still supportive of us, and keeping the music going and keeping the spirit alive all these years later.
It sounds like you hear from some of them from time to time, or
I
vice
do.
versa, reaching out to
Yeah,
them.
they'll come.
That's
It's like old home week.
Yeah.
We'll play down there in that area, and they'll come out and well, we got inducted to the Georgia Music Hall of Fame, and so I saw all of them. So I said, I got up at the podium. I said, you couldn't have gone through your youth with a better group of guys as these guys. They're standing right there. And we all dedicated our award to our dads who were supportive of us through that. And they're all gone now. We lost our dads, so we had dedicated it all to it. My dad was I might have mentioned to you before, my dad was a railroad engineer.
Yeah.
Did the same. He started shoveling coal in the old locomotives, worked himself up to brakeman, and finally took the test, became an engineer. And I watched from a distance, watched him do it. I see the work ethic,
Right.
And he ended up pulling a train 2.5 miles long with 5 diesel engines. And he's up there, that stick, and
My gosh,
it took a mile to stop, Steve, a mile, 2.5 mile train.
unbelievable.
Yeah. So I was always influenced by all that. And, and he was a pretty strict guy, but he was a good man. He
had the opportunity to experience some of your success.
Oh, there were times in the
Yeah.
early days, of course, he would, back when I was 13 or 14, he would help me put my amp and the guitar and a
Look at
big
that.
trunk of a Mercury, and take me to the birthday parties, the pool parties or whatever. And then it got further on. I was getting more serious about it. And he wanted to get me to work on the railroad because he had connections. He was an engineer at Seaboard Coastline. And I didn't want to do that. I was just like, I can't see myself do it because it's 8 days a week for an engineer, trained engineer.
Brutal.
So at one point, I was about probably 19 or 20, and Donnie and I started another band. We had gone through about 8 of them, as teen dance bands and things. And he said, "Son, when are you ever going to make any money from us?" So, Dad, I just feel like it's right around the corner. It was a big wide corner. But Steve, he ended up lining his den with gold and platinum records all the way around that room.
I love that.
He would bring in the neighbors and, show them all. So
Proud as a peacock, man. His father, beaming about his son.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
We played New Year's Eve in Memphis Coliseum. They had indoor fireworks. My dad was there. And I told our production manager, I said, my dad's here tonight. Find out where he's sitting because I want to put a light on him and just to say thanks after all those years because we were at a pinnacle of career and there were sold out arenas.
Yeah.
And so he found out where he was sitting. So when halfway through the show, I said, we should stop for a second here. There's a special person here tonight. I said, my dad is here. And the whole place started roaring. And about that time, 6 Super Trooper lights zapped down into one seat there.
Oh my gosh.
And my dad stood up, he had a beer in his hand. He was standing there. Oh, the whole place cheered.
How great.
I said,
How
okay,
great.
sit down now, Dad.
That's right. You've had enough of the limelight. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But he never stopped talking about that. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I'm sure he's, he's still observing you, and beaming and proud. But what a great story. So, not every successful musician can cite that. Some, had to really combat, some challenges with their parents. So that's a great story.
Right. He was always supportive. The last show he came, he was in a wheelchair and everything, a diabetic and all of it.
Yeah.
I remember them wheeling up the big ramp, going up to the stairs, and he sat over there on the side, and he sat there, and I turned around and bowed to him a couple of times. And after it was over, he said, "Son, that was the best show. I saw Elvis, and that was better than Elvis."
Look at that. That's a mic drop if I ever
Yeah,
saw one.
right.
Yeah, that's so great.
Yeah.
What an awesome story. Thanks for sharing that. Karen Robbins said she first saw 38 Special in Portland, Oregon, and still going to their concerts and rocking their music. 38 Special flat out rocks. Thanks for being here, Karen. And Mark Southern saying this group will always be in my favorite band list. I know you're not alone. And Don, this is from Bill Uchin, I think it is, saying, "All I Haven't Said, great new song. All albums since you started being one of my number one bands." So it sounds like he's got the full menu of 38 Special albums.
When we were recording All I Haven't Said, I kept telling Jim Peterik, I said, "Man, that has every element of every background of music that I've had. It's got all the vocals, it's got the jangly guitars, it's got everything, and it has all the elements to it." And that was, back to my dad. I lost him about 10, 12 years ago. And I think somewhere out there, my wife, I'll try to nutshell this story, but the seat was next to me was empty, and I was grounded from a plane in Charlotte. And this beautiful woman came up and said, "Is this seat taken? Excuse me, is this seat taken?" And I said, "No, And so we hit it off, and we got married a year and a half later. But somewhere out there, I think my dad pushed her to that empty chair. 10,000 people in that airport. And I told her, "You walked up to your future husband, sat down, and it's something."
It's amazing. And she had no idea who you were, huh?
Yeah, no, she didn't. Her brother, she told me later, her brother was a fan, and that our schedule was so hectic, sometimes I'm not looking at several cities ahead.
Right.
You take it one at a time, you knock it out 110%. And she said she had gone online after her plane left. Her plane was still going. Mine was grounded. And she said, "You're playing in a baseball stadium in Florence, Kentucky." She said, "That's below Cincinnati." That's where she was from, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And she said, "My brother lives there. Would it be okay if I brought my brother to the show?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know. You think you can behave yourself?" So we made sure the brother had a great time, Steve.
No doubt.
He got pictures with the band and all that. So
great.
It all worked out. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. And you guys have been together quite a long time now.
You mentioned All I Haven't Said. She was the one that came up with the title. I was noodling around. I'm kind of rehashing what we talked about before, but I was noodling around with the guitar, and she said, "What is that? Something you're working?" I said, "Just kind of noodling around some chords." And she came around the corner and said, "That sounds like that should be called All I Haven't Said." Like,
look at that.
Say that again.
Yeah, so I think I mistakenly asked you if you gave her songwriting credit. It turned out you hadn't. So sorry about that. That was my fault.
She's got some credit, songwriting credit. She said, "Do you think I need to start my own publishing company?" I said, "Slow down, honey."
Yeah. Little too fast.
Yeah. But the amazing thing is that one of the first songs she ever co-wrote, she gets the first single off the album, All I Haven't Said. And
look at that.
There was a line in there that we were trying to formulate the story of what that meant, what it all I haven't said. And we were talking about, an older relationship that maybe have gotten complacent, and maybe the woman wasn't feeling like she was being heard correctly. And the guy is out in the shop, and he doesn't really talk much, and he doesn't know how to be a romantic, And I was telling her, I said, "What?" She sat right there at the dining room table. I said, what would be the most ultimate thing? Like, I would shout it from the mountaintops how much I loved you. She said, "Ooh, how about I would write it across the sky how much I loved you."
Look at that.
Wow. And it's in there today, that line. Yeah.
That's great line too.
Talking about that.
Yeah. Don't be looking over your shoulder. Yeah. Somebody behind you, man, is catching up.
No, I welcome it. Anything.
Yeah. Absolutely right. And again, I just want to remind everybody that we're celebrating this absolutely incredible, a series of milestones. The album, first one in over 20 years. And Don and the band have absolutely delivered. And of course, the 50th anniversary, which is mind-blowing to me. 38 Special, but makes a lot of sense. I mean, you look at the calendar, these guys stand the test of time, and Don's been front and center for the majority of those years. And a testament to him. And the band, including Don, has signed copies. I normally don't say this, but there's just about 100 copies left that are signed. And when those are gone, folks, I don't think Don's going to be returning my calls after this show. I have a feeling, maybe not until after the holidays, but you need to pick this up, and you need to pick it up. I can't think of a more amazing gift for a loved one or a friend. The gift of music, the gift of 38 special. And I'm going to look all of you in the virtual eye because I don't see you live. But, let's face it, we all often go to that gift card. And you know what? That's a pretty lame gift. Let's be honest. Once that amount is exhausted, that gift is worthless. In fact, worse, it becomes landfill. This is a gift that keeps on giving. And this man and his band have absolutely delivered it. So hit the shop button on Talk Shop Live. Pick up a copy or two for friends or family. What an amazing gift. And I say that firsthand as a fan. Not as some guy who's hawking music, because I'm telling you, these guys have delivered, and it's absolutely brilliant and signed by the band. So it doesn't get any better than that. We're going to slide one more track in. Let's hear All I Haven't Said again from Milestone. Brendan, if you would please roll the digital.
Now you may come back by tomorrow. It's been a while, but still I wait. A few more moments left to borrow, to say it all before it's too late. Now there are times that you call me, but my mind was somewhere else. And even though I know you needed me, I built these walls around myself. If I quoted the poets throughout the ages, I still not find the words caught inside my head. I would write them across the sky how I love you, and all I haven't said. Walking down the streets of the city, thinking about how things might have been. It's funny how the words still escape me, but I'm picking up the pieces again. If I quoted the poets throughout the ages, I still not find the words caught inside my head. I would write them across the sky how I love you, and all I haven't said, and all I haven't said.
Man, what a great track. Had to get that one in. And man, your vocals, man, it's just like a time travel, except maybe even better than before. But it feels nostalgic. But I can't point it to any 38 special song. It just embraces you. Just an absolutely great track.
Thank you. That, I'm taking care of the voice. You sing from the diaphragm, sing correctly. There's a lot of singers through the years who sang from their face. They push all the air out of their face, and it just ruins their vocal cords. But yeah, that was the debut of the masterful songwriter Christine Barnes.
I love that. Yeah. And
Right.
yeah, and I would say she should quit her day job, man, and keep writing.
That's right.
It's absolutely amazing. What an absolutely great track, and a great story behind it too, is how it came to life.
Well, that song also has, my brother played folk music back in the 60s. They had the Hoot Nannies and all the Peter, Paul and Mary and Pete Seeger, and they played all those songs. And I was young. I was probably 12, and they would rehearse in the living room. But so if people could kind of remove themselves from the rock band element, that's my background. And that if you hear, if you strum a guitar, and it's almost folk song, even
Right.
The old song, If I'd Been the One, what if I'd been the one to say, that's basically a folk song, but it's turned into a rock song. So that's my influence, is my background. Yeah.
Absolutely. Makes perfect sense
Yeah.
for sure. And Don, what does 2026 hold for you in 38 Special? You said I think you kind of gave us a tip of the hat in that there's more dates coming with you in Kansas, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
They've got William Morris Agency. They keep lining up. We've got they probably got 60 cities on the books already. We do about
Wow.
100 cities a year. And Fred Crochelle, manager, he's got ideas about maybe a documentary and a live album. We would certainly want to do a live album with all the new songs and new approach to it. So
Love it.
so we stay busy. I mean, it's always something is going on. If you saw those videos there, those visualizer videos, all those were taken from discussions. And it's like, how do you film noir, some kind of thing like the old movie thing for slightly controversial.
Right.
And then the other one was so much so right was James Bond kind of thing, all the what's the exhilarating, the things that get your blood pumping, jumping off wingsuit and windsurfing and car racing, all that. So we were trying to put everything in there that would depict what the hot moment of intimacy and that kind of thing. So we were trying to emulate that sort of thing. So a lot of those decisions, it's always down the line. There's always a list of things I need to do every day because like, what do we do here?
No doubt. Yeah. I love that. Great background for sure, man. And before we let you go, man, we'd like to thank, I can't believe, man, we're already at the bewitching hour, but man, a lot of fans here. Thank you so much for being here. Again, it just shows how much they appreciate what you do and what you bring to the table right up to this this great new album. And most importantly, thanks to Christine, a budding songwriter, and also loaning Don us for 1 hour. There'll be something extra in your Christmas stocking this year, Christine. So thank you for that. And also monumental thanks to a gentleman that you've already heard his name bandied about, Mr. Fred Crochelle, who made this happen. If it wasn't for Fred, I don't think I'd be sitting here talking to Don for a second time. But there's also a lot of other people. Mike Donahue from the label who tasked me not to sleep at night until every last 38 Special Milestone album we were provided was placed in the hands of 38 Special fans. So, Mike, I can officially tell you I will be sleeping well this evening. Mission accomplished. And to Rob Gordon for great efforts. And also Brian, thank you so much. Ken Craig, thank you for your support. And Craig Campbell, Phyllis, Kathleen Todd, and also Devin, man, he keeps showing up and supporting us, and appreciate all your help on this show as well as the last one. And to Amped and our fulfillment partners at Alliance Entertainment, to Brian, Tina, Joe, Lavani, Marty, Kate, Sam, and also Brad, and behind the scenes, Brendan, all from Talk Shop Live. Brendan, great job as usual. But most importantly, to Don Barnes for continuing to share his musical gifts with all of us. And Don, before we part company with this incredible year almost under your belt and the holidays upon us, any last words you want to share with the fans?
Man, it has been one for the books. This year is probably the busiest we've been, or I've been, definitely.
Yeah.
But it's been a great trip, great journey all these years, and to see the instant reactions of people, and we just we can't express our appreciation for everyone out there making us a part of their lives. It's changed our life. It's something we always wanted to do. We were young boys with a dream, made all our mistakes in public. But we just want to thank everyone for making us a part of their lives, and definitely come see us. You'll always get 110% from us. Nobody's ever slacking up. We're always stacking up. So everybody come out, and you too, Steve, come be our guest. Love to see you, buddy.
I will be there. I'm packing my bags as we speak for 2026 for sure, man. I will be there. I assure you 100%. And folks, pick up 38 Specials album. There's not many left that we have here. Milestone, signed by Don and the entire band. And as I said, go ahead.
I also wanted to say,
please,
there are some cynics out there that think, they probably just, stamp the signatures on. And let me tell you, every single one of those, hundreds and hundreds of them, we passed around, and we'd go down to the other room and give a bin full of covers. Every one of those are authentic signatures. You can see the imprint of the pen on there. So they're all absolutely authentic signatures.
I appreciate that too. And again, that's why I keep saying I'm amazed that you showed up the second time and lifted that cease and desist, because I don't know if I would have done. And again, a testament to you and the guys, man. You took a bullet for the fans, and heed the man's words, man. These are heirlooms, man. These guys are rock and roll history, as well as the current and the future. So enjoy this record, man. They delivered for sure. The gift of Don Barnes and 38 Special, and your friends and family will appreciate it should you decide to give them a gift, and will enhance their quality of life because this record's so good. Don, man,
Yeah,
it's so great to be hanging with you again. I can't thank you enough, man. Really enjoyed it.
Always fun to talk to you, Steve. And by the way, the 38special.com, we've got some a new T-shirt, ho ho, hold on loosely shirts. We've got the LPs, signed LPs, a few of them on the website. So be checking out our website too. Thank you so much for having me, Steve.
Yeah, and happy birthday to you, man. Have a great day tomorrow, and Merry Christmas to you and the wife.
Yeah, yes, you as well, and have a great holiday. And we wish everyone a great holiday. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. With that, everyone, stay safe, enjoy life, happy holidays, rock on. So long, everybody. Thanks again, Don.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, bud.
Look back at this life so long ago. I saw the truth but never wanted to know. There were sides of me I barely recognized, till I saw my own reflection in your eyes. When I found you I was looking for my life, down broken roads and miles in there. Opened up my eyes and let me see. You found the lost and missing part of me. Now I try to be the best man that I can. Only you know where I've been and who I am. When I found you I was looking for my life, down broken roads and miles in the time. You came and rescued me.